Next Play Investors. What's the next play? Next flight investors. What's the next play?
Hello, everyone. How y'all doing? We, we definitely in the building today. I want to make sure everybody is on the up and up, and we want to make sure everything is going okay. All is well. Can y'all hear me? All right. So, welcome to Next Play Sundays. It's definitely going to be a good one this week. We got a very important guest that's coming in this week named Kenneth Lester. He's going to talk about infinite banking. If you've seen the post from earlier today, you understand that we talked about infinite banking a lot of times, and we always telling everybody what infinite banking is. Well, tonight on Next Play Sundays, we're going to have Kenneth Lester. He's a practitioner fiduciary that actually practices, and he's the one that'll get you signed up for infinite banking. I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you for coming out again every Sunday at 7:30 to 9. Next Play Investors meets, and we talk about everything in investing, from infinite banking, real estate, stocks, cryptocurrency, uh, anything to do with credit, fixing, and building generational wealth. We're a group of people that just love to be able to communicate, and we've been doing this for a long time. So we definitely want to thank everybody for coming out and joining in with us tonight and sitting down and listening to what Kenneth got to say. As always, what we're going to do is we're going to go over and join everybody else, see what everything is going on, and actually talk to everybody and see how everybody week been. So we definitely want to be happy that everybody came out tonight. We got a lot of people joining in on the other side. I'm actually doing a whole lot. I can't wait for everybody to come in and actually enjoy, so everybody can see. So let's get over and start this whole thing process so everybody can learn and get the basics of what infinite banking is and how everything actually works with infinite banking. You can actually build your wealth and be able to create your own bank with life insurance. We all should have life insurance by now so that we can actually make sure we can pay our expenses. If you don't have life insurance, this should be a motivating factor of why you should get it life insurance, and actually how life insurance can be an asset to your life and to generations after. As I said on the live today, and this is the most important thing, we all people ask how did the Rockefellers and how all of them have money for generations and generations. Infinite banking. And once you get an understanding of it, hey, we definitely gonna get into it. So, no other for no to do. Let's get over and see what everybody else is doing and go from there.
Congratulations. That's what's up.
I
Sir.
was,
All right,
I was
well,
gonna
good
change
evening,
my
everybody.
background
How y'all doing?
tonight.
How y'all doing? We live and we actually all together now. Glad to see all y'all on another great Sunday. How's everybody week been?
Everything's great.
Good, good, good.
Things great, man. Excited about the week that we're in right now. It's glad to be here. Glad the topic of the show is about infinite banking. And, we've been talking about it for a long time. And so, when we first read the book about 6 months ago, and we were just kind of learning about it. And the book that we read was, just so you guys know, Becoming Your Own Banker. And so in the book, it talks about how you could use basic life insurance to create your own bank, fund your own bank from generation to generation, build generational wealth for you and your family. And so I took it upon myself to read the book, go into detail, and I figured what a better way to get started is to find someone who's already went through the infinite banking courses and had all the training. And so tonight, I want to bring in Kenneth. He's going to be doing a PowerPoint, and also he's going to introduce himself and talk about himself and let you know all about infinite banking. And you guys probably would have some questions after he's done. And I think Michael has a question, Frank. Okay, perfect. Okay, awesome. Okay, well, none other further ado, here's Kenneth Lester. We're going to get right into the show.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me. Stacy, it's a pleasure to speak with other investors and people just trying to be good stewards of what they've been given to be stewards over. I'm here to talk about infinite banking. I have a quick slideshow, well, maybe 15 minutes or so to share, to talk a little bit about infinite banking for those who are unfamiliar and for those who are maybe a little bit repetitive. But for me, I can never get enough of going back through it over and over again. It's that good.
Oh,
Hold
man.
on, let me share the screen here and go from there.
Well, thank you for coming, Mr. Lester. While you actually, um, thank you for coming, Mr. Lester. While you getting yourself together, I think everybody on here will be really, really proud to actually get some real information about what it is. So I'm glad to see everybody, Michael and everybody there. While Mr. Kenny, we'll do success stories after the whole presentation, cause I can't wait to hear everybody kind of how everybody week been. We missed everybody last week because we was kind of on like we was running on half a cylinder. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah. But the show was good. The
Yeah, the
show was
show was
good.
good. Yeah, so
Show was
it was a
good.
good show.
A different way to make passive cash flow in the stock market. So I tuned in and I thought you guys did a great job.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I
Yeah.
think it was real good for everybody here.
Oh
All
yeah.
All
right.
right.
Can you see the screen,
Yeah.
everyone?
Sure can.
All right. All right. The title is just Consider IBC. It's just something to think about. I'm an authorized practitioner, kind of what Stacy was introducing me as. Of course, I have the disclaimer, not written or intended as specific tax or legal advice. And Stacy already shared with the book. My recommendation and first suggestion is to either read the book or listen to the audio version. In the first section of the book, it talks about how the infinite banking concept got started. Well, I'm just going to give a brief summary of the start. It was in the late 1970s. R. Nelson Nash, the author of the book, was making money in the real estate business, buying land. He was following the advice of the day's financial genius.
Time out.
Getting a little break up there, Kenny.
That's
Yeah, he's breaking breaking up a little bit. Hold on, we gotta, cause I can hear y'all good. I think that's his.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's his internet real quick. So we
All right.
gonna fade it
While
like that.
he regroups, okay, he's probably gonna come out and go back
Yeah,
in.
yeah. We gonna spotlight him tonight.
Yes, sir. We gotta get this information.
Okay.
There we
You
go.
guys still there?
Yeah, we
Yes,
still
sir.
here.
Okay. All right. All right. So he was buying real estate using other people's money because you're always dealing with borrowed money. You either borrow money and pay interest or use your own money and give up interest that you could have earned. So you pay interest for a while, then you sell the property. That's, for profit. All you're giving up is the interest you paid out at the time. Well, when that's happening, leverage works wonderful. Prime at the time in the 70s, late 70s was 8%, and he was required to pay 1.5 over. So he's paying 9.5%. Everything was going smoothly. He decided to expand his holdings, buying more and more. This worked for a while, usually does in a rising market. However, nobody tells you what happens when the lever goes the other way. Fast forward to 1981. Nelson had expanded his
Yeah, you broke up again for some reason. I'm not sure why.
That's on his end.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. That's interesting. Interesting. What do you think? What do you think, Frank?
Yeah, it's on because I can hear you clearly. It's something with his internet. We might have to.
Well, maybe we go back and try it without doing the slide and do the same thing, and maybe it didn't break up. Possibly worth a shot.
Yeah, it's worth a shot. If Kenneth can hear us, he cannot do. He don't have to do the slide. Maybe the slide maybe putting too much bandwidth on his internet
Right.
connection. Um, if you want to send me if you want to send me the full slide, Kenneth, I can probably do it. I can probably do it and then just kind of follow along with you. If you want to email it to me, we can go into success stories real quick so we won't have a breakup, and then
Yeah.
that way we
Okay.
can, yeah, that way I'm finna Stacy text him.
Yeah.
Get the email from him. Let's do success stories real quick, reset, and then we'll regroup. That way I can kind of follow. I can send it this my side, and then we should be good.
All right, no problem. Just send it to me, Kenneth, and I'll send it over to Franco.
Okay.
All right. All right. Well, you want to start off with the success story, Frank?
Oh man, I tell you what, I'm gonna start off with the success stories today, man. Yeah, you got me on that one right there. I'm gonna tell you that. I'm open it up and I'm gonna pin myself to the screen. So my success story this week. I can't even tell y'all no lie. I'm so glad I found DoorDash because in the last couple of weeks, I realized that how much time that I have just to waste and how it can be used very valuably. And so this week we will be going into the market with DoorDash money to buy option, and I'm going to record it and talk to y'all about it. So I'm happy about that because I got it all figured out. I think it's a great strategy. Second part of all this week, it's been a good week, man, because I've had a lot of mental success, and I like I say, that's one of the biggest things that I got going on in my life, man, is just to continue to be mentally happy, even in the midst of everything else. On top of that, got some big things popping as far as jobs and money going on, and we working that pretty much out. We kind of got a lot going on. I'm about to be able to have a whole staff, and I really won't have to spend a whole lot of money, and I'm really excited about that because as I found these different companies and organizations out here in that's have sprung up due to what's going on with how society is moving and the speed and the pace of how society is moving. I figured out that I don't really need as many people on full-time schedules, and I can actually find companies that are able to help support me more, so I can actually expand my business and actually kind of get focused on some other stuff as well. So it's been a really good week. Just really more of a fact finding week. We made money this week like always, but it's a good thing. I mean, it's not always about money. It's also what you do in your spare time, and so I've actually took on learning some other new things I'm probably gonna share with y'all. And we'll talk about. But other than that, man, I mean, like I say, man, my weeks are great. I've been staying focused. Again, I just so happen to not to have my stop drifting shirt on. I haven't been drifting all year. I've been really staying focused, and it's just another great week. I mean, every week isn't always about like a massive amount of money made or anything great. It's just, like I tell anybody, I'm happy to be on the right side of the dirt. So, other than that, that's been my week. I mean, you know what I mean? Other than that, man, everybody have a good one. I want to hear somebody else. Let's go, Stacy. You go.
Okay. All right. Well, great trading week. Success on that. We've been working the calls and put strategy, and this week, I officially the week before I officially went all in and was able to have all my dollars working for the first time, and it felt good. I wasn't nervous like I would normally be if I'm just investing long in the stock. And so far, the call and put strategy has been working. To the point where um, it's been so successful. I was going to purchase another car for my Turo company, but I'm not going to do that. I think I have more success investing that money in the market than I would purchasing another Turo unit. That's just how strong I feel about it. But I'm not a financial advisor, not a fiduciary, but on my end, it's working pretty good. So that's my success story. And we're going to go into Nicole. Bubbly Nicole.
You know what? I feel like I'm at work and we're doing popcorn. It's popcorn is when you popcorn the next person to go.
Yeah.
So also awesome, Stacy, Franco, great success stories. So first of all, I'm grateful that Michael, he's on here tonight. He is going to help me get my little self organized, so I can streamline what I'm trying to do. I think I have a great business venture, and I guess I realized it this weekend after I actually hosted like my 4th bridal shower. And like I put this bridal shower together in 24 hours.
Wow.
And it was an absolute success yesterday. The bride was extremely happy. And so when we were at the dinner, the girls was like, that's it, Nicole. Like that you're so creative and you don't even realize how creative you are. So I'm just trying to streamline everything that I have going on. I also will be taking my first spiritual counseling class. So I'm waiting to get enrolled. So y'all know I'll be back in school. So I have 8 courses to take. So I talked to one of my pastors today at church. So I'm so excited about, where God is going to take me with that venture, with getting my spiritual counseling license. So I'm excited about that. So that's kind of what I got going on, just trying to work on. I'll be back in school. Like I said, it's 8 courses. I'm hoping to be finished probably by the end of the year, 1st of 2023. And so I'm going to start doing some stuff with the care team at my church. So I'm just excited what God has in store for me for the remainder of the year. And I'm just kind of glad about the people he has placed in my life to kind of, keep me on track.
Okay, popcorn.
I'm glad to see you got to call somebody out, Nicole.
I will let my cousin Martin. I don't know where he is. Oh, he's there.
Your mic is on mute. You mute.
Oh, can you see me now?
Yeah.
Oh man, my success story. I was talking to the fellas earlier. It's all about the information and the information that I found out. And it's supposed to be a vacation, but it's actually turned to a workcation because it seems like everything is just flowing, just information about how to purchase land here. I was looking at information on farming, information on doing like logistics and just delivering goods and exporting and importing. Everything seems like it's falling into place, and I'm excited about it. I'm pumped about it, and I'm just happy one day I'll be able to share this information with you guys in case you guys are interested in some of the same things. that's my success story. Let's keep it rolling.
All right.
I thought you told us you brought some property or something.
I'm in the process.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to put your business out. I'm sorry, Kenneth.
I'm in the
Let me
process.
go on
Yes,
mute.
Nicole. Don't do that, Nicole. People are watching and listening, Nicole.
Hey, but tell them, hold on. But hold on. Tell them where you may possibly and hypothetically be buying this land. You're not buying this land like in a normal place. So explain. We'll give them a little bit of information. Give them a little bit of information.
Well, right here in the Dominican Republic, and in our group chat, I'm gonna drop some videos. I took some video footage and everything. I took some video footage of Santiago. I got video footage of land here in Santo Domingo and everything, so everybody can take a look exactly how the raw land looks here and what the communities look like. So it's kind of like two levels. So I'll be sharing it in the WhatsApp.
Sounds good.
Okay. And can I say something real quick before we move to the next person? That I learned this week. I had a meeting on Saturday with this guy who travels internationally and he's invests internationally. And one nugget he dropped at the meeting was he said, because you live in the United States and our money is more valuable in a lot of these places, you can basically 10x your investments in other countries just by taking a plane flight to another country. So if you have 500,000 here in the U.S. and you go over to Ghana, where our money is worth more, now your 500,000 is worth 1.2 million or 1.3 million, just from a plane flight. So that's a little nugget I got. Who's next?
Martina got to call somebody out.
Sequester, you're next.
Hey, Sequester. Hey, Sequester.
Okay. Hey. Okay. Let's see what I'm gonna say. So I'm still in, what stock was that? Visa. I think I'm only like $13 up right now.
Okay.
And I'm still looking at that, but I have mine set to get out at a I have a stop market. I mean, no, I have it set. I have a stop set, and then I have a something else set to sell as well when it's when it gets to my number. The other things, my husband invested in some property. Actually, he won it through an auction, and he is currently trying to put a trailer on it, and we're either going to rent it or we're going to sell it. He's still trying to figure out, the ins and outs. The other thing, I know I mentioned a while back, we have bought some property on one of those tax liens. And so that is coming to an end, but we received a letter saying that it was void, and we don't know what that means. So Monday, my husband's going to go to the assessor's office and see what that's about, because there's a possibility that we made $0. Like we waited two years and we're just going to receive our money back. What we don't know, we need that to be clarified, but it's looking like that.
But you should receive your money back with interest.
Right, may not be. It depends.
Oh, okay, all right.
Dorchester County does things a little different. They may give us 10%, they may not. We just don't know. And they don't have any information on their website to say otherwise. So it is what it is. It's a lesson learned, a lesson unrepeat. I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else I got going on besides that for right now.
All right. Yep. Good deal. Good deal. Last but not least, we got Reggie. Your mic is muted. Do you have anything, Reggie? No, we can't hear you. Oh. Yeah, we can't. Okay. Well, anyway, Frank, you have the presentation, right?
Yep, I got the presentation. And
Oh, hold on, Reggie has something. Hold on, Reggie has something. We can hear you. We can hear you. Okay. All right. Well, we'll come back to you, Reggie.
all right, Mr.
All right,
Fleming.
we'll come back to
Mr.
you.
Fleming here too.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. How you doing, Mr. Fleming?
Doing well. How y'all doing this evening?
Good, man. You got any success for us this week, man?
You know what? I finished the interview with the devil. That was good.
Tell us about it. Tell us about it. Tell us about it. How you feel about that?
No, you know what? You know what's funny is I actually, as I started really listening to it, I realized I probably listened to it when I was in my 20s, but it was good so I found the link on YouTube, so I was able to do the Audible. You know, they pretty much had those for free on YouTube. And as a matter of fact, I put it in the Facebook page a few minutes ago. But I loved it. I'll be honest with you, it was good hearing it again and just kind of going through it. And I thought the disciplines and the principles, man, was spot on. I mean, just in regards to, you know, the difference between listening to it as a kid, I mean, it was a young man and now getting a chance to listen to it again. I don't think I understood it. I don't think I understood enough of it because I didn't have enough experiences to relate to it in my 20s. But now, just about every single thing on there, my brain had at least 100 scenarios that matched it, and I just thought it's brilliant. I mean, it's just absolutely brilliant that he was able to, you know, think through that conversation. And the sad part, like what he said, the 90% of the people who kind of just go along with all of it, you know, and that 4% that kind of figures it out and has independent thought. And that's what's appealing about this group that y'all have, man. It's just that this feels like this is to break that other, you know, if we move the needle, you know, 10%, that's gonna be a tremendous amount of progress. So that was definitely a great, just a great experience listening to that. And then probably one of the bigger successes, and I hope it continues, is I was fortunate to meet someone who has a lot of contacts, and she's making me a lot of promises. So, you know, we've got a couple of follow-up meetings and things going on. So we'll see what that turns into. I'm always open to it until it's not. So, you know, and absolutely looking forward to anything, you know, that I can help out with this group as well.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna put you to work.
Let's do it. I'm that type of person now. I'm telling you. So let's do it.
So Michael, it's just a small correction. It was 98%.
98. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. See that's what it is. I'm being optimistic. We're gonna move.
Michael, my homeboy, so he cool with being corrected. It's okay.
I don't mind it at all. I don't mind it at all. Matter of fact, I expect it.
That's cool. I also listened to it last week on the plane. I went back. I think that's probably my fourth time listening to it. And the thing I got out of it was the plan part. You know how you said you got to have a definite purpose.
Yeah.
You have that plan also that goes with the definite purpose. I think that's a major key.
Yeah.
That have the plan lined up and focus on that plan and the purpose, can't lose.
Yeah. I agree.
All right.
Good stuff.
Franco.
All right. So Mr. Lester, you can get ready to get started. What I'm gonna tell you is I'm gonna share to the screen for everybody. You'll kind of be able to see what slide I'm on. I'm
Okay, that's fine.
I'm finishing up the last little part right now, and then I'm gonna send it to you so you can be able to see what screen and which one I'm on, and then we'll go from there and we'll be good, ready to rock in just a second.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. All right. There you go, Frank.
I'm almost there, and so now this is the beginning, and everybody should be able to see where it's at.
We see your screen.
You sure?
Yeah, we see your background.
Yeah.
But I did see Kenneth for a quick second, and then it faded away. So let's see here. Okay. See this right here.
1 second.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Reg.
All right. What's going on, guys? I had to leave to rearrange my equipment.
Okay.
What's going on? Are we waiting on something?
We were getting set up, but you can go ahead and give us that success story.
Real quick.
Okay. Well, yeah, I actually do have a success story, believe it or not. Looks like the ink is finally dried on the contract. So,
which one?
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Reggie.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So now, next month, I start doing QA and support for literally one of the largest XR and metaverse companies on the planet. So, good thing.
Congratulations!
In a good situation, it should be very helpful toward my ultimate agenda of conquering the world.
Hey, that's what's up.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Just in time for our birthday, Franco.
Hey man, we already got to celebrate. We definitely got to celebrate.
What are we doing, man? Let me know.
I don't care.
Wednesday's supposed to be nice.
Oh, sounds like a plan then. We'll definitely talk
Like
about it as soon as we get out.
All right.
Well,
We gotta celebrate.
That's
so
it.
Frank.
Oh, hey, Miss Tubner, I sent you a message on WhatsApp. You got to reach back out when you get a chance, please.
Okay, I'll do. But if you have I will talk offline.
Okay. No
okay.
worries.
Perfect.
So Frank, I see the screen, but half of it's missing. Just so you know. Now, if you want,
what you see missing?
It's zoomed in. Just zoom out. Like a control minus it or something.
Because Reggie is the spotlight now.
1 second.
We're gonna get this infinite banking going.
Yeah, we
guarantee it.
I'm gonna have to change it. To
hey, Frank, let's try this real quick. Let's try
what
this real
look
quick.
like? What do y'all see now?
We see it. Yeah.
That's full.
But no,
it's still just a little.
Yeah, it keeps. Yeah.
All right.
Let's check this out real quick before you do that, Frank. Hold on.
There we go.
Yeah, because I was gonna say if somebody could.
How's that right there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
we'll go with that. We'll go with that.
Just make
okay.
It, just make it bigger. Yeah, you good.
Okay.
Because I can't see nothing.
Can you, Stacy, put it like in presentation mode?
I think I'll take your whole screen up.
You have to open
I sent it as a PDF. I sent it as a PDF.
Download it. Yeah, download it.
Yeah.
Oh, I got downloaded. Okay.
Gotcha. Open it as a PDF.
All right.
And then I'm gonna let you be seen.
All right.
I'm gonna come back to that.
Oh yeah. All right. We're cooking with gas now, I think. Okay, here we go. Da-da-da. Share. Okay. How about that? Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. All right. Good deal.
All right. I think I was getting ready to go to screen 4. You go down to 4. It's fine.
All right.
So, basically, Nelson had got himself into a little jam. He was owing $500,000 at 23% interest. And at that time, that meant he was paying additional interest of $67,500 per year. And he wasn't prepared to pay that. So he did what a lot of people do. He went to his knees. He went to prayer. He said it went to many, many months. The infinite banking concept was born out of being in prayer, praying to the Lord. Please show me a way out of this financial nightmare that I've created for myself. He said the answer came back to him about like a baseball bat across the eyes. You are standing in the midst of everything it takes to get out, but you don't see it because you look at things like everyone else. So what is IBC? It's a concept, a thought process of how we take control of the banking function in our life. I don't think you better play that video though, but that's right. We'll just get past that.
Okay.
Go to number 5. Okay, so number or 6, right? You're there. What is the problem? Is the need for more money? Is it accumulation problem? Or is it a focus on the wrong thing? Is it our mindset? Do we need to rethink our thinking? Most advisors and most people will say, I can help you get a higher rate of return if, or I can get a higher rate of return if, but IBC is not about rate of return. It's about taking control of the environment in which you operate. Kind of like if you had a grocery store that you're the owner of the store. You don't steal from your own business or you will fail. So if you're giving your family and friends a discount and they're going outside the back door, not paying full price, you'll never be profitable. Think of farm to table restaurant, your best one that you've ever gone to, if you've gone to one before. They understand and know the cost, the production of the food because they produce the food. They grow the vegetables, they grow the fruit, they farm, they what do you call it? Ranch the cattle and even the fish. So they're in control of the supply chain. So they won't have supply interruptions or disruptions because they know, and they know the quality of the food because they're taking part of controlling the food. And they also know what price to set. So it's about taking control, putting you and your family first, being the lender, being the bank. So many people don't know what to do with their money. Why? Is it because we've been conditioned to think a certain way, or is it a true lack of knowledge? Or is it just merely following financial geniuses that tell you, do this and you'll make X, or do this, you'll make Y? On that same page in the book, he quotes Hosea 4:6, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Because you have rejected knowledge, I reject you from serving as my priest. Since you have forgotten the law of your God, I will also forget your sons. Later in the book, he quotes scripture 5:6 of John. When Jesus saw him lying there and realized he had been there a long time, he said to him, do you want to get well? Well, that's applicable to a lot of different things. But Nelson took ownership of his financial problem. Nelson was able to get access to money through 3 life insurance policies that had cash value. And he was able to obtain policy loans at the time between 5 to 8%. When prime was 21.5, but he was able to go back and get loans from against these policies at 5 to 8%. This helped with the financial pressure that he was in. It was evident to Nelson at this time that he would need to dramatically increase his premiums that he's paying for life insurance. Nobody likes to pay premiums, but he realized at this time, in order to create a pool of money, of cash value to borrow against and pay off the bankers, I need to increase my premiums. So premiums aren't the problem, they're the solution. With a little honest introspection, it revealed to Nelson that he could revise his spending pattern. That helped for me. I can tell you that in the beginning. It's like my first policy, I was like, I put all I could. And then I realized afterwards, there was still some more things I could do differently. And it's been great. I'll tell you, you're going to feel financial pain one of 2 ways. You either have financial pain of discipline, or you're going to have financial pain of regret later on. It usually works better if you have the financial pain of discipline as you go, and it gets better. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to stop flying into a headwind and get past the no wind to a tailwind. And that's when things start going good for you. You can change the sign. Are we thinking like consumers or business people when it comes to money? What value do you give or see in your money? Do you see your money generating income? Or do you see it like a pond? You're just trying to accumulate, like a retention pond. What happens to a retention pond? The water evaporates in time, gets stale, gets stagnant. Just like money, just sitting around in the bank where fees, taxes, and inflation eat it up. What you want to do is you prefer to have where it's like a river where your money can flow in order to create a cash flow back to me. So that's what you're trying to think. Banking and finance is the business that we're in, whether we like it or not. We don't get to choose that. Whenever you make a purchase, you're either giving up interest or you collateralize against it. Loans from banks, who controls that? The bank does. They control the application process. They control the timing of it. They control the contractual terms, when and how the money's paid back. The policy loans, it's a little bit different, much better. You're in control of that. There's 3 methods of financing and how we buy stuff. You can use credit, you can pay cash, or you can be a value wealth creator using a private bank or use an IBC concept. The debtor, which is represented by the red line, works to spend, immediately buys it, say the gold dots are 5-year increments, and that's the zero line going from left to right. So the creditor immediately buys the car, pays back interest over time, gets back to the zero line, does it over and over again, never gets above the zero line. The saver, a little bit different, does better, puts off immediate gratification, saves money, but then empties the tank, goes back to the zero line, does this over and over again, never really getting ahead because you don't want to pay interest, but you never earn the interest because you're interrupted and you're buying stuff along the way. Now, the wealth creator does a little bit different, saves and uses other people's money. You can probably see a little bit better in the next slide, Stacey. Where the debtor works to spend, represented by the red lines. The saver represents the green lines, and the wealth creator. See by dot number 5 above the zero line, and never going back down again. Where do you want to be? It's kind of what you're looking for. So what tool, you can go to the next one. What tool, vehicle, platform do we use? Well, IBC is fundamentally about banking. That's the B in the title. The process is control of the banking function. You want to treat your family better than the traditional banks. You want to treat your family better than you do Wells Fargo. So if you pay Wells Fargo 5%, you want to pay your bank 8, 9, 10% because it's helpful to you. It's giving you a tailwind, and you want to ride along with that tailwind. It requires understanding and discipline. That's probably the toughest part. The discipline it takes to implement the ideal. The platform is using properly structured dividend-paying whole life insurance policy to create your own banking system through a dividend-paying life insurance, where you spend the time creating and capitalizing one of the best passive cash flow businesses in the world. Go to the next one. Why life insurance? Well, first, you get the death benefits. So in the event of your premature death, I don't know anybody that dies on time, but just in case you die like tomorrow, if you have that in place, it's the only product that's guaranteed to do exactly what you want it to do, whether you're here or not here. It builds cash value along the way. It also gives you opportunity for wealth creation, whether it's buying property in Santo Domingo, whether it's buying property here in the States. It's there. It's there for your usage. You don't have to worry about a 1003 filling out a mortgage application with a bank. Go to the next one. Who else uses life insurance? Banks. Bank-owned life insurance. The top 10 reported in December 2021, the end of last year, to the FDIC government. Bank of America has $24 billion worth of life insurance assets. Wells Fargo, $19.5 billion. JP Morgan Chase, $12.2 billion. And PNC Bank and at 10. Why? Go to the next one. Well, because of whole life insurance benefits, they're able to have, if just in case one of the executives die, they get a death benefit. They get tax deferred growth, tax favored distributions, competitive return, high contributions, collateral opportunities. So you're able to, as the wealth creator, you don't even have to borrow against your cash value. You can go to the bank and negotiate better rates. Instead of getting maybe a 5% loan, maybe to get a 2% loan. Safe harbor, no loss provision, meaning it only goes one way. As you continue to hold this policy, the cash value continues to grow each and every year. Guaranteed loan options. It's not filling out an application. It's more like calling up the insurance companies. They tell you how much is available to borrow against, and you say, I want it. Within 5 to 7 days, it's in your account. No questions asked. Unstructured loan payments. You don't get an installment or amortization schedule for your loan. You get all you get is a each year interest payment. So yes, there's a cost. There's a cost for it, and you pay the insurance company interest for their money, to use their money. But you get the liquidity, use, and control. Next slide is this other resources to read. Building Your Warehouse of Wealth, written by Nelson Nash. Financial Independence in the 21st Century. How Privatized Banking Really Works, which is another good one by Carlos Lara and Robert Murphy. Just want to say thank you. Going to open up for a Q&A. Didn't want to spend too much time, but just want to give a general overview and dig a little deeper with questions.
Okay. Appreciate that. I'm gonna stop presenting real quick. All right. I'm gonna start it off with a question. Well, not even a question, but how the or maybe it is a question that you probably could answer. Why is infinite banking in other words, I know you broke down as far as why all the banks are invested in all these billions of dollars, but if you had to sum it up into one reason why all these banks are investing in these life insurance policies, what would it be? The main reason.
They need real money on their reserves. They're required to have a certain amount of tier 1 capital. And one of the places, probably anywhere from 10 to 20% of their tier 1 reserve capital is in life insurance policies, because they're able to, the flexibility of it, they can actually borrow against it.
Okay.
Even though it's showing on their books.
Okay. That's good information. Another thing I think is that it's almost guaranteed, because everybody eventually is going to die. So it's going to have to pay out one day, no matter what. Whether you hear it, well, you're not going to be here when it pays out, but it's going to pay out. And another thing, if when that time does come, how do you recommend a family handle? I know the traditional where the kids get the death, the life insurance policy, they all break it up and everybody, takes the money and they do whatever they want. But what do you recommend on how that should be done so it be passed down from generation to generation to create generational wealth?
Well, when you buy one, when you get a policy, there's a couple of different ways you can get one. You can get it where it pours into a trust, or you can buy it with a trust from the beginning to help avoid estate taxes and gift taxes. I'm not going to give any estate planning advice. I'm not practicing law at this juncture, but there are ways, and that's what a lot of wealthy families do. That's exactly what they do. They pass it on, and sometimes they buy policies on their grandchildren, they buy policies on their child and the parents. So you have 3 generations with policies. So they just keep the money pouring all the way along the line, and they pass them down.
So,
right. Go ahead, Frank.
So let me ask you a question, Mr. Kenneth. I don't know, and you can tell me if I'm going too much into it, but I got a question, and that question is this: why, since we're talking about life insurance, because I'm pretty sure everybody that's looking on Facebook and YouTube and everywhere else, why doesn't the regular whole life insurance count as being an infinite banking policy? Can you get into that? The regular whole life insurance.
Well, you can bank on it, but it takes a lot more time if they're not structured properly from the beginning. That's a great question. They are, and in fact, that's what Nelson had. He had a traditional policy. It wasn't designed the way that he's recommending that these are designed. These are designed where you're able to use and borrow against the cash value earlier. So, like say you're putting in 50 grand each year, or just for easy math, 10 grand each year, going straight into a policy. It may take 3 years before any of that cash has cash value available. But if you do it the way the IBC practitioners do it, you could have cash value available year 1, 2. Instead of waiting to year 3, 4 to get started, the compounding starts earlier.
Gotcha.
Does that answer your question?
That answered my question. My next question, just to kind of get some more clarity, because everybody here, next playing out in the world, they're kind of new to hearing about infinite banking. So my next question will be, as far as with infinite banking, when people are actually trying to set up these policies, and you keep saying, and you just said it, and we I think me and him both know, when you structure it right, why is it so important to again structure it right to have the policy set up outside of the normal ways of setting up a policy?
Well, it's a couple of different reasons. Because if it's not structured right, you could run into what is called a modified endowment contract, which means that you might have taxable consequences. If you're under 59.5, you'll have a 10% penalties like a regular, like pulling money out of an IRA early, and you'll also have to pay ordinary tax gains. I'm not going to give tax advice, but there's it's called a modified endowment contract. So you want to make sure that you don't run afoul of the government rules, because the government realizes what can be done with these policies. So they made a upper limit of how you can structure them. So you can get close to that line, but you don't want to go over that line. There'll be taxable consequences. And then like I said, the tax favorite treatment, not anymore. But if you do it within the guidelines between the insurance company rules and the government rules, you're fine. And that's why you want to go with someone who knows what they're doing and with intentionality and knowledge.
So, Mr. Kenneth, I would ask you, when we talk about infinite banking and how it can actually help people as far as being able to help them create generational wealth, as well as be able to protect their family in case anybody dies or anything like that, can we explain or can we talk about the younger you start your kids, the quicker that by the time that they are of age of 18, as they tell us in the world, that they can actually already be ready to be able to go out into the world and they never have to go to another bank in the rest of their lives?
Yes. In fact, one of the things people don't like to hear, Nelson actually says in his book, in order to actually set it up, to get to that level, it takes 20 to 25 years to build a banking system through life insurance to accommodate all your needs for your finance out, cars, houses, etc. Everybody skips over that piece of the book.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, because they're thinking fast. This is a long-term strategy. So yes, if you're able to start with children earlier, especially if the parents have one and they're able to get a bigger policy on them earlier, by the time they go to school, say for instance, you get a policy on your child at age 3. By the time they get ready to go to college, there's money there for them. But you say, you know what? Either A, you might have a scholarship, or B, I want you to go ahead and get that loan. So you want to get 4 more years of compounding, in other words. And then you say, you know what? Borrow against the policy, pay back those loans, but you're going to have some skin in the game, so to speak. So you're teaching them the system as well.
Good.
Are you following, or is that too much?
Yeah.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
You're
You're
good. You're real good.
So basically, instead of getting the student loan, you could borrow the money from yourself, pay yourself
From the
back,
policy.
right? From the policy,
Yeah, against the policy, rather.
Right, against the policy, and in turn pay yourself back interest, and continue to build a family bank at the end of the day.
Right, because it keeps going.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Would that not depend on the interest rate that you could get the particular student loan at?
Exactly. That's why I said you may tell them go ahead and get the student loan. But then immediately year number 5 when they graduate, or 4, whatever it is, or if they go to graduate school, it could be year number 8, if they go to med school or anywhere in between.
So you would be comparing the interest on the loan versus the rate of return on the policy, correct?
Yes and no. No, because we're not chasing rate of return, because your policy is growing regardless. You see what I'm saying? So that's like 5 more years. The longer they're in school, that's 5 more years for that policy to grow. And then you could immediately turn around after they graduate, pay off the student loan if you want to. Because while it's in school, the student loans are deferred while you're in school. It's no interest on it.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the way when I came out of school, that's the way it was.
Then yes, to go ahead and before they come out of deferment, before anything. So yeah, basically it's free money until you get out. I understand. Okay. Thanks for clarification.
Right. And so if you had started earlier, like I said, 10 to 15 years earlier already, it's already started compounded by then. Because usually, as compound interest, as by year 20 to 30 is when it starts taking off, when you start seeing the numbers,
So could you tell us from your experience, because like Frank said, this is a lot of this is new, but in a perfect world, in a perfect system, and maybe you've seen that already in the infinite banking game. How do these families structure this thing?
Yeah, like I said, we kind of tiptoeing into legal advice, estate planning. I have some people I can put you in contact with.
Right.
I do have some, Yeah, but that's what they do. They go to a estate planning lawyer, and or a tax attorney and that's the kind of advice they tell them how to keep it going.
Get the entire structure going.
Right.
So on and so forth.
Right. Because that's very important questions. Those are very important questions. But most people, well, I can say most people, a lot of people don't. It's uncommon. I'll say that. Your group is probably going to fit in that uncommon category. So yeah, you probably will need to seek that advice. I'll just say it that way.
Okay.
Or you may have some state tax issues that you're concerned about.
I see. Okay. Now, at the end, if you decided to pass this policy on to your family, say if you say, well, I'm not going to give I'm not going to give my kids access. I'll give them access to the bank, but not to the money, so to speak. Like here's the money, go do what you want to do, but you got access to the bank to buy a house. You got access to start a business. If you want to go to school and get an education, you have access to that, which is also going to be in estate planning. But do you know if you'll be taxed? Would there be a death tax on that, even if you passing it on? Do you know?
It depends on how it's passed on. That's why they can set it up both ways. They can set it up in a way where they don't. It's called like a crummy provision, where it's available to them, but if they don't take it, it goes back into their trust. So you can avoid the gift tax, in other words. Okay. Like, each year you can give up $15,000. I think it's around $15,000 to each person or each child that you want. So say that money's going into the trust each year. But like for a month or 30, more than 30 days, or at least 30 days, I think is what the rule is. I'm not gonna get too deep in it, but they have access to it. They can say, well, I want the money instead of going to the trust or something like that. But you have to get with a tax and estate planning attorney to get more details on that, though. But yes, there are ways.
Okay. And another question that just popped up, if I'm not even thinking about infinite banking, I'm just thinking about life insurance just in general, just having life insurance just in case something happened. Could you give us some recommendations on that? And, what do you recommend for people with to get life insurance?
Recommend as far as
what type, should I say? What type? A whole life, term life? What's your recommendation?
If you truly can't afford any whole life, I would say get term. No, get something because you want some coverage there. I'll say that.
Okay. Which do you consider? Which one would you consider the best, the term or the whole?
Oh, whole life. I mean, the amount is really the same. If you got a term policy that's 50 years, it's gonna cost the same as whole life. But people don't think about it that way. They give you a discount because they're breaking it down the cost. So they're only pricing you for 10 years.
Okay. So
but if you just stretch out.
You're saying that if you was able to secure a long-term 50-year term life, that the only benefit that the only thing that you would lose from that term life is the fact that you can't borrow from the term life. You can only have the term life. Correct.
And the only person that's gonna benefit is if you die within that term.
Correct.
Right. And what happens is if you look at any term policy, say a 20-year term, look at year 21 and see how fast those premiums go up. Then look at year 22 and look how they go up tremendously. Just pull out one and just look at once that term ends, if you want to keep it in force, how much you have to pay those next couple of years, those next 5 years. It becomes unbearable pretty much. Nobody that's accustomed to paying, if you're accustomed to paying $1,000 a year, you don't want to jump to pay 15. Because that's usually not your lifestyle. If you've been paying 1,000 each year, you're not going to be. You've already spent the other 14 somewhere else. Most likely, that's human nature. I don't know that to be true. I'm just speaking human nature. That's kind of what happens.
So Mr. Kenneth, because you brought up one of my questions, kind of in your answer. One of the things that we figured out and learned about infinite banking, as you pay into the policy, it actually can be able to pay the policy premiums itself after so long. Am I correct?
Correct. You can choose to reinvest the dividends. That's the other thing. Nelson says get dividend paying whole life policies. So yes, you can reinvest the dividends, or you can use it to reduce your premium payments. Or anytime, say year number 25, you said, you know what, I'm tired of paying premiums. Can I get a reduced paid up policy? That's also an option.
Okay. And I'm gonna step outside of a realm right here now because I think this is a question that I'm pretty sure somebody else want to know. When you borrow against your infinite policy, because you're talking about dividends, premiums, and interest, we're talking about all these different things. When you borrow against your infinite banking policy, does your dividend interest or does your dividend interest change while you take the money out, or does it still continue to compound when the money is actually borrowed from the policy?
It depends on the insurance company, but all the ones I work with, it continues to grow. Because you're borrowing from a separate fund at the insurance company. You're borrowing the insurance company's money. You're not borrowing from your policy. Your policy continues to grow uninterrupted. That's the beauty of it. Yes, there's a cost for it. You're paying the interest. You're paying interest to the company, to an insurance company. Don't let nobody fool you. Yes, you are paying interest, and that's the cost. But you're going to pay it one way or the other anyway.
Correct.
There are no shortcuts. I'll say that there are no free lunches or shortcuts. However, this gives you the opportunity to keep compounding uninterrupted, as opposed to that line where I showed the saver.
Mm-hmm.
You interrupt it every time you pay cash.
Okay. I remember when we were studying infinite banking, we had a term, or Frank came up with it, where you could basically buy your net worth. Remember that, Frank?
Yeah, buy your net worth.
Right. So basically, correct me if I'm wrong, you were stating that once you decided what your policy was going to be, right? Is that right? That's how you had it set up?
Yeah, that's how I
right.
had it set up.
Then you could have an idea on what your net worth is. Was that it?
Yeah, correct. Because it was basically this. Once you get your policy, you look at the rates of what your return is going to be on your infinite banking policy. So if you want to have $1 million, all you got to do is figure out how many years you need to pay in your infinite banking policy, and that will guarantee you $1 million with the compound interest of the insurance policy and your net worth, because you'll be able to borrow against it as it compounds and as you average into your policy. So whatever you want your net worth to be, all you have to do is figure that out, get the policy size that you want it to be, start paying on your policy. If you got 10 years, 15 years, or 20 years, and then that way you'll be able to buy exactly how much you need for retirement or whatever else to be able to be in that policy. And that basically buys your net worth.
Right. Okay. All right. Any questions? I mean, I know me and Frank have been asking a lot of questions. Ladies, Nicole,
yeah, Nicole, you there?
Martinez.
Yeah, I got a question. Yeah, so once you set up this policy, and you, like, I guess what Frank just said, once you decide, your net worth, what's the soonest you can, like, let's say you want to start borrowing money from the policy, what's the earliest you can start pulling money?
Well, you don't want to pull the money out. You don't want to withdraw it. But yeah, you can start borrowing against it within the first 30 days. But yeah, but you want to capitalize it. You want to fund it. You don't want to start necessarily borrow, day one, but it's there. I'll say that. But if you needed the money that bad, probably maybe best to go ahead and use it for whatever you need it for at that time. But some people will put it in immediately,
So, quick question on that. Are you able to leverage against future earnings, or when you borrowing against your policy, are you just borrowing against what is currently in that policy at the time? Albeit, if you set up a policy, like Franco said earlier, say it takes 10 years at so much of a payment, to ultimately have that policy be worth $1 million, and you want to borrow against it, can you borrow 2 years in against what the policy is supposed to be worth years from now?
That's my question. My next question.
Hello?
Yeah, it was some
Yes, I'm
feedback.
here. I'm here.
You see, did you understand what I was saying? Leveraging the future worth of the policy, basically.
From who? I mean, if somebody wants to do it, give it to you. Yeah, I mean, who are you borrowing? I'm asking who you borrowing from. That's what I'm not sure.
I thought that you were borrowing from yourself. That's the whole idea, isn't it?
Well, yeah, the insurance.
I think Mr. Kenneth,
Yeah.
what I think, if I'm Reggie, tell me if I'm wrong. He's wondering if, say we thought about buying the insurance policy, and say 2 years in, you wanted to borrow against the futures of knowing it's going to be worth $1 million. Can you borrow from that $1 million that you think is going to be in the future? Am I correct, Reggie?
Yeah, it's just like leveraging, just like using margin to trade. You're leveraging.
I'm not sure I understand your question, but I'll say this. The insurance company will not let you borrow more than the cash value that's in the policy.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
They're not going to go upside down that way. Or, the threat of it, I guess.
But I can say this, and I think you can help me out, Mr. Lester. If you have, say, Reggie, you wanted to go borrow 200,000, and you have 200,000 that is accumulated off interest, because you have to realize that the money in the policy is going to accumulate. So if over 2 years you put in, say, 75,000, it's going to be gain interest for 2 years. So you could borrow more than the 75,000 that you put in, because it's actually going to be on gain interest on that 75,000.
Yeah, that sounds like a correct statement, because your policy will have a cash value of, whatever you put in plus the interest, correct?
Correct.
It'll have the guarantee. They'll show you from the beginning the guarantees, and that's based on what you put in. I'll just say it that way. Like there's a guaranteed side of the illustrations that you'll see, and based on how much you put in each year. That's it's like it's sound money principles. There's no. It'll show what it's going to be at minimum. That's why it's called the guaranteed side, not the non-guaranteed side. So they have two sides on most illustrations: a guaranteed side and a non-guaranteed side. The non-guaranteed side will look higher, of course, but like I said, I wouldn't plan on anything but the guaranteed side, even though it'll probably be somewhere in between. But it'll at least always be the guaranteed side.
All right. So, real quick, Mr. Lester, in a quick summary, I want to ask you, besides being able to be your own bank, what other upsides are there to buying an IBC specific policy?
You're in control. It's like you don't have to go when you want to get the loan. You're not filling out a 1003. You're not waiting on the bank. You get to control when you pay it back, how you pay it back. To me, that's a lot. Have you ever had the experience? I can tell you one person. I've had the experience where I had a line of credit. In 2009, 2010, when the market went down, that was snatched away. My line of credit was paid up, but they took it away. Bank of America took it away. That won't happen here. Guaranteed loan option. Just like recently, I've heard some other people recently, since COVID, that same thing happened. They got letters from Wells Fargo, whoever, taking away their line of credit. My job didn't change. Didn't make it wasn't like I was in debt. My credit was still good. They just took it.
Yep. And I think you got to have life insurance anyway. So why not let your life insurance work for you? That's what I got when I read the book. And also, you're building generational wealth another way. So you got to have life insurance. You don't have to have it, but it's a good idea to have life insurance. I recommend it. because we're all going to leave. But if we have to have it, why not have it work in our family's benefit?
Right. And you get tax favored
Right.
treatment.
Exactly.
You know, say you're under those federal limits, it goes to the beneficiary tax free. If you have to without probate, if you go through like a 401 or anything else, or a taxable vehicle, taxable account, IRS want their money. Silent partner, he's always there. They're always there.
So
Even with a stepped up basis.
So I have a question, because I know a lot of people on here, they understand about why the taxes are important, because that's where you can save your money and actually make more money. I actually have a situation I was contemplating today that I was talking with some people, and I was thinking about making a sale, and I was thinking about it as I got to pay taxes on something if I sell this. And it was like $27,000 if I sell it, $30,000 worth of the money that I'm going to profit. And so in this case, when you look at tax deductions, tax harbor, and different phrases of being able to save your taxes, infinite banking allows you to put your money somewhere where you can save on your taxes and still make interest and still make capital gains without having to pay that tax. So you're basically in a situation where you're almost beating. Am I correct? You're almost, we don't want to say beating. You're almost creating a new avenue for your money to grow without you having to pay taxes on. And that actually in itself is another benefit to growing your money in your account, because the taxes are really what kills you. So, like some people that you work 50 hours, the taxes on the extra 10 hours are actually what's killing you from making them extra money. If you go buy something expensive and you got to pay a wealth tax or a capital gains tax on it, that's going to cause a problem, because now that price of that good, whatever goods you bought, merchandise you bought, went up. So with infinite banking, saving on the taxes and saving on the actual extra interest, the capital fees, and everything else, is this what makes it so interesting for people to put their money into? Because now once you, like you say, you have the control, you actually also able to actually save yourself from dealing with the IRS on the money that you make. Am I correct?
Absolutely. It's a different bucket. It's three buckets where you can put money: taxable accounts, tax deferred, which really means tax postponement. And a lot of people just kick that can down the road, and they keep kicking it down the road with 1031s, 1035, all kind of IRS codes, basically to kick it down the road. But guess what happens at the end? Even if you kick it to your children, guess who got to pay? Somebody's got to pay sooner or later. Uncle Sam wants theirs. They said, we let you pay the game. We're glad that you made some money, but guess what? When you made money, we making money too. Or you can put it in a tax favorite bucket, like this bucket, where you've already paid the tax. It comes with after tax money. You never pay taxes on it again. It's allowed to grow tax free. And it's kind of what, if you go to How Privatized Banking Works, or what's that, Creatures of Jekyll Island, the book, Creatures of Jekyll Island.
Right.
Yeah, we talked about that one day here.
Right. And if you do the math on those blind trusts from the time they set those up, from 31, or I think 31 to now, and see how much, even at 20%, if they never get taxed on it again, how much money that could be, even on like $20, it's a tremendous amount.
Well, we want to thank you for coming out, Kenneth, and presenting, man. I think everybody got some nuggets, some positive information. Love to have you back. You can stay if you want, maybe contribute also. But I think Nicole and Michael, first of all, does anyone have any more questions for Mr. Lester before we move on? Everybody's good? Okay. All right. Well, thank you, sir. We appreciate it. Thank you for coming out.
Hey,
well, thank you for having me.
Hey, I want everybody to know, man, I'm going to post Mr. Lester's information up there. Mr. Lester's right here. He's right here in Atlanta. So anybody out there that want to actually get a chance to talk to him, his email address is Kenneth, KENNETH, at Kessler, KLESTER, for whole life, and it's actually the number 4.com. We'll definitely post it on there, because this is something, like he said, he kind of didn't want to say so much, because some of that stuff goes into legal advice, and as we always say on Next Play, we are not a financial advisor. You know what I mean? So please consult
Right.
your tax attorney, a consultant, or whoever, fiduciary, whoever handles your money, a professional, because Mr. Kenneth is actually. I really appreciate all the people involved that got him here, because y'all really just got some $1 million like information about something that will never hit most other people's ears. You know what I mean? To know about how it goes. So I appreciate you, Mr. Kenneth. We definitely post this on our page, and yeah, man. Thank you for coming.
Well, thank you for having me. If there's any topic or subject or something specific you want me to come back for, I'm more than happy to. I have a lot more I could share, but I don't want to take up too much of your time. You gave me enough time already. But you too, Nicole, if you have anything at all, financially related, or if you just want to talk, I watch sports too sometimes. It doesn't matter what it is.
Thank you, Mr. Lester. I will do that. I will.
Okay.
Man,
all right.
y'all next play people looking real good right now. I just want to let y'all know. Y'all looking real good.
All right. Well, I might listen to him, but I'm just going to turn off. Okay. Thank you.
Hey, thank you again, Mr. Lester.
All right, Nicole.
What's happening?
So, Michael just put something in the chat. So, basically, this weekend, you all know my social interaction is on and popping. So, Michael and I did not have an opportunity to sit down and meet like we planned on doing earlier this week. I'll be out of town next week, so he and I get together. But no, I just kind of wanted Michael to share the presentation that he did at my house a few weeks ago. Well, actually last month. And so you all know that I'm a vision coach. So I did my piece first, and then Michael joined in and he did his piece. So I don't know if Michael, I know it's like 15 minutes left. I don't know if you kind of want to explain it. And then once we kind of, you getting feedback from me or Michael? Probably Michael.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't mind explaining it. I do a workshop called Life Quest. Sometimes we change it up. Sometimes it's called Vision Quest. And I don't know if I mentioned it the last time that I was in the group. But first of all, I was just looking forward to being back part of the group. I'll be honest with you. I was telling Nicole, I thought it was by invitation only, so that's the reason I hadn't participated. But I absolutely am looking forward to keeping up with everybody. But
man, let me just tell you. Once you come in, you can't go out. Once you see, you can't unsee no more.
I love it. I did what I said last time, man. I'm so used to getting my head be part of something like this.
Oh no, man, it's a community thing, man. This thing started as a community. You tell anybody you want, you can that link that you have, send it to anybody you want. I mean, it's a community thing, man. We want to just try to see how everybody learns. So definitely, I don't think man, share it with the world. Post it, you know what I mean? Because we want many people to be able to help, even people like Kenneth, and go and get his services and other services that are out there. So you definitely, what I mean, share it with everybody.
Yeah, no, and literally, I got two phones, so I had the other Facebook. I had it up on, I shared it on Facebook, but I think this is fantastic. I think what Mr. Lester was sharing too. I'm looking forward to learning a lot about that. But what Nicole was referencing in the Life Quest workshop that I do, in less than really about 40 minutes, 45 minutes, I can map out a person's entire life story. Well, I help them map out their entire life story. It's a very unique exercise that looks at it literally looks at the way that you see yourself internally, and then once you have that format, there's unlimited uses for it in regards to what some of the next steps and things can be. You can actually you can convert it into a 1-year life plan. I'm working with a national mental health group called Telehealth 24/7 that's African American owned, and we're collaborating to set up more classes and workshops. But I wanted to do. I'm looking forward to doing the same thing with Nicole here as well. But would love to do this one of the times. It doesn't have to be on the Sunday time, but would love to do one for the group, no charge or anything. I'm sorry.
I volunteer.
No, I'm telling you, absolutely would love to do that for the collective group. And as a matter of fact, I've done this for so long. One of the things that that over the years has emerged for it is that if a person tells me what year they were born, what part of the country, and I don't know if I mentioned that before, and you know what year you were born, literally, really anywhere in the country, what city or town that you were born in, I pretty much can tell you what your parents did for a living when you were born. And that's part of identifying the patterns that make up what happens in our lives and different stages of our lives. But it's not a particular, like, thoughtful thing. Is just identifying those particular patterns, but they show up in this particular exercise in people's lives. And a lot of us have those moments, but we kind of just drive past those moments and don't realize there's signs around us that say a lot about how we make decisions and how we think through, our own internal kind of strategic plan that happens with us. And so, but the goal of the class and the workshop, I tell people all the time, I don't ever want to tell anyone what to do. I want to help people tell me how to help, how to help them, because I've had great mentors and people in my life, and they've always done the same for me. And that's the only thing they ever asked for us to do, ask for me to do for other people is kind of do the process for other people. So anytime y'all ever want to have one of those, like I said, we have it on a separate night, man, I'll gladly do it online and even do it live. And I'll get it worked out with Nicole. And I'm just looking forward to helping out every way I can.
So Mike, I'm sorry, Stacey, I know your hand was up. So Mike, if you could share the video that we did at my house,
okay,
and then I can share it with Franco and Stacey. I can share it with the group. So if you can send that video to me, that Sean.
Okay, yeah, I will. I'll do that. Okay.
I'll tell you what, Mike. So yeah, you get with me. You get with me, and after you and Nicole get together, I'll be a test dummy.
I love it. I love it.
And we can record, and whatever goes on, I'll be the next test dummy. Let's carry this on, because it sounds like it's a mind game. So I like playing mind game.
And I say this because, oh yes,
So after you get all the data, like you say you can tell how you grew up and all the information. Yep. So then, how do you use that data to help the person?
Well, let me tell you. So, the whole idea is not only does it map your past out, it maps where you're current standing in your life by asking you a set of questions, and then it asks what are your bucket list, and then some of the most immediate things that you want to accomplish in your life. So there's a goal setting portion to again, this is all on one sheet of paper. So there's a goal setting portion of it, and then there's the daily decision making that you make. There's a section for that, but there's definitely a section that looks at what we call the 5 chapters of your life. So we divide your life into 5 chapters, and then it looks at what the influence that your guardians and your parents had on your life. But it has 2 sections that look at how you collaborate with people, and then kind of how you kind of maintain your own kind of internal peace inside of you. So now what's starting to happen is, and what I was looking for, what was great about Nicole, what she did on hers, Nicole had done such a good job on her opening of just describing and sharing with her team and with the people that were in attendance that night. It made it easier on me to dive deeper than what I normally do, because I knew Nicole had set it up as a support kind of system before we got there and with her team. And most of the time when we have people host these, that's what I try to tell them in advance, is that you got to have a support structure around it, because depending on how intentional people are about their goals, then you find that there's two type of people, right? You find the ones who are intentional about their goals, and then you find the people that are trying to find peace. And then every now and then you'll find someone who's trying to do both. The people who typically are trying to find peace, they're still resolving things from their past. The ones who are intentional, they're trying to make sure they're accomplishing and checking off the boxes of what their goals are. And so that's my sense of it with Nicole, that we're going to break these people out into probably 3 different groups, and then we'll have classes and workshops around each one of those, because the people who are intentional, they don't care about anything that happened in their past for the most part. They like, I got stuff to do. I want to go on trips. I want to start a business. I want to do investing, But the people who are still trying to resolve things from their past, man, they don't mind, having kind of the more in-depth time and stuff that you spend with them. So it's pretty powerful, and I'm spiritual. I ain't all that religious, but it's totally been a God thing, because this stuff has emerged through different experiences and things over the years. So I'm just as much of a participant of it as I am, the moderator of it too. So, but in asking you directly, stay seriously, it finds where that person's focus is, and then we follow that path. I don't have to tell that. I don't have to say anything to that person. We follow your particular path. And but in this particular group, that so far from what I understand, this is that mixture group. There's reflection, there's anticipation and strategy. Man, I know that may seem common to everybody on this phone, but that is not common in what I do, in the average, and in the average time that I spend in a month. So I think that this will be one of the few, this particular group, and as this grows, would be one of the, because y'all built it into it. This is the support function is already built into this. And man, I'm so not used to this. So I'm looking forward to, just exploring all of that.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, Mike. We thank you over here at Next Play, but everybody here family. So you're a part of this same thing because you building another component onto it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so like I said, we glad you're here. I'm gonna be the
Likewise.
test dummy.
I love it. I love it. I don't sleep much now. I'm telling you now, really, I don't. I've had Zoom calls that started at midnight because I deal with a lot of people out West Coast. But the reason I'm saying that, if you're up late, bro, I don't even mind starting them later to make it convenient to people too.
Hey, I tell you what, we'll and I talk with the brothers about it. I'm speaking like it's all me, but
Yeah.
I think what I mean. Like you and Nicole get it together as far as put it together, and we'll do it as an experiment, and I use
Love
me.
it.
You know
I
what I
love it.
mean?
Love it.
And I put it
Love
on
it.
because I don't mind telling everybody about all of it. You know what I mean? And
I love it.
where we can discuss it, because if it's something that's gonna make you better, a wise man told me you got to take some action.
That's
You
right.
know what I mean? And
That's
so,
right.
hey, let's do it. I mean, it can't hurt. It can't hurt to find out more about yourself so you can become better. Because, like you said, people that are still dealing with stuff from their past, they get stuck and stagnated. And I'm definitely
Yeah.
about not drifting.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I love that from the book too. I love that from the book as well.
We want
Yeah.
to tie. We needed to tie the book. That's why, if you all know, like maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe a week and a half ago, I shared a post with the Next Play group from one of my college girlfriends, and I actually got her. I had her to get the book. I had several people to get the book because if I am helping people create their vision boards, it really makes sense for us to start with Michael's piece first, with that life quest, because you got to be able to look at those different aspects before you set the goals that you're trying to set. And so when you set those, that's how people continue to drift back and forth. We talked about that in church today. Is looking at the past. When you hold on to the past, like my pastor said today, you have to let that go. You have to put those things behind you, because you can't put your first foot out and move forward. So what we did, I had about 20 young ladies over here, and it was really life-changing for them because they was able to see how authentic I was, not just as their friend, but they saw another side of me and things that I never shared. And so being able to see, it was just awesome because I didn't really know how it was going to look with Michael. And I really think once you all see the video, you will be able to piece it together, because it's basically sharing your testimony after you go through whatever journey. And I really think that I was so stuck on that book because some other people said it too, but Mike, you said it today. I could not have read that book maybe 10 years ago. I would have read the book. However, I would not have understood any of that. I would have been extremely confused. But now where I am spiritually, I'm like, oh my God, this book is amazing. I also told my small group at church, look, we need to read this book. Forget about what the title says. It's what the content says. Because people often read this title and like, oh no, I don't think we need to do this. But no, it's some really, really good content in there. And I think at some point, every last one of us on this call has drifted.
Well,
and we made
it
today. You know what I'm saying?
That's why it took so long for that book to come out. If you read the book, that's why. It's because of the fact that they couldn't handle it then. So that's what the thing is. Right. But I'm going to tell you something, Michael. I got 2 people on Facebook ready to do what you just said. I got 2 people ready to go. So that's what I'm saying. I got 2 people sitting here right now in the chat they want to do it too. So I'm gonna get
Awesome.
it. We gonna set it up. We gonna have it where you and Nicole get it together. We have it. I mean, we got a lot of people willing to try because I think a lot of people want to know how to progress forward. But so I mean,
Absolutely.
I'm just counting them. But it's a couple other things. I see one or two. Here's two more. So you know what I mean. So that's why I
Awesome.
say, yeah, man.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
I think really, if we could really try to push it at sometime in April, just so we can, but again, Franco, we're going to share the video with you all. So, because I think once you all see the video, it's so powerful. And that's something I also want to use with my staff as well, because you can use this at any type of professional development. You can use this for, even for our group, just being able to make sure that sometimes you got to be able to shift your mindset. And so if you're trying to be an investor, you're trying to do this, you can't drift. And you know what I'm saying? So it's just a mindset shift. And we've talked about that several times before.
Well, I tell y'all what, we get it together and we present it to the people where it make everybody look like they want to look, and we're gonna do it like that and that like that.
Good stuff. Good stuff. It's that easy for me. I'm loving it.
It works for me.
Oh man. What's up, Stacey?
Well,
Stacey like,
That's it. Now it's the 9 o'clock hour. We're at the top of the hour.
Stocks real quick before we get off this here.
Stocks.
My portfolio looks great.
Yeah, Apple ran up. This for the past 2 weeks. Apple's been running. Oil is running. OXY. Warren Buffett is dumping a lot of money in the OXY oil stock, and so we talked this week about how the oil may remain high as long as the conflict continues. So, who knows how long it's going to continue. But right now, a lot of the big money is dumping a lot of money in the oil, steel, iron, stuff like that. Yeah, so it's a lot of money being shifted over that way. So it's a chance for you to ride that wave and just keep your eyes focused on what the narrative is, because we don't control the narrative. Remember that. So we just got to watch the narrative. We got to watch it and then make our moves based upon what the narrative is.
I hear you. Hey,
you hear me?
Do you guys remember what I predicted last week?
What was that? I wasn't here last week. You gotta bring me up to speed.
You remember Franco, Negro Damas?
Yeah, I do.
Who just threw $25 billion at my prediction last week?
25 billion?
25 billion.
What did I miss?
Remember I was talking about the Evo plays, and I told you what Neo did?
Right, they had earnings, right? Did they have earnings last week?
Neo just had earnings, and the night before earnings, ARK Invest just dropped $25 billion into Neo.
It's Kathy Woods,
what
right?
What did I tell you guys? The week
you did. Well, it was just Franco and myself on here, but you did, Reggie. You did say that. That's correct.
I gotta give Reggie credit. Reggie been on the road for the last 3 weeks.
Good job, Reggie.
That is funny.
Reggie been on the road for the last 3 weeks with his insight. I can't even lie. I've been keeping up with him. Reggie been on the road. He been calling it. I believe Reggie know that he got a crystal ball over there or something.
Yeah.
I got a chicken in a box. He just pecks on the stock.
You got a what?
So what do you have this week right here? Anything?
Yeah, what you think of this week, Reggie?
I don't know, because I've been analyzing. Because remember, I've been on the fence, and I told you I've had so much junk going on. I've been waiting for the ink to dry because I was about to jump into Amazon and of course Neo. You get a free Neo stock right now if you go. Is it Gemini? I forget, but you get a free Neo stock just for signing up and putting in $1. You ain't got to do like $100. If I remember exactly what it is, I'll put it in the in the what you call it. But I really have been contemplating between Google and Amazon, but as I think, the price keeps going up. So now I'm at the point the price gone up almost 1,000 because when we were talking about this, remember when I first talked to you guys about the splits?
Yeah.
They were just over 2, like 22. Now Amazon's 29, and I really thought if I had my choice between the two, I'm going to jump into Amazon. But now Amazon's already jumped from 22 to 29, and things are getting because Neo stopped its parabolic run. So Neo jumped to a max of 22 and a half, and now it's back right about 20 even, 19.5 to 20 even. So I'm trying to figure out, is it too late for me to jump on that bandwagon, or should I wait until the actual split? Because as soon as it splits, just like Tesla and Apple did, as soon as it splits, it's gonna fall because people are gonna sell the news. They're buying the rumor right now. As soon as it splits, it's gonna fall a chunk or two, at least for the first couple weeks. So I may have missed the mark because if I give up, $900 a share right now, because it's already gone up $900 a share.
Mm-hmm.
If I give it up now, I know that they're both long haul plays for me, but I'm just not sure if I want to give up that $900 or just sit tight until it splits in June, and then when it splits, I'll just pick up whatever I want once it drops again. So I am not sure because I got what is it, paralysis by analysis. I didn't drop the funds on the stocks, and they've already gone up. It's too late. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is it too late?
So Quest was about to say something.
What's Neo? Is that a company?
Yeah, it's a car company.
Yeah.
A car company? What's the ticker?
It's NEO, I think. Was it NEO?
NIO.
N-I. That was the part. Yeah, NIO.
Okay, that's what I need.
But you know what? Gamal gave, the two stocks that Gamal said that it was an energy stock. I think it's High Peak and something else. It's MULN something. I can't remember.
It should be it's in the WhatsApp chat. It's in the WhatsApp chat. If you're in the WhatsApp group, you can see it in the WhatsApp chat. And if not, we'll repost it.
It's doing well because I bought in for both of them.
Okay.
A little portfolio look okay.
All right. Yeah, Neo just did, like I said, a killer run, and now, my next play is probably going to be Amazon, but I don't know if I've already missed the boat, so maybe I should just sit tight for a while. And,
all right, we going after hours. Y'all keep going.
Oh, look, Randy? Do you have Neo? You do have that, correct?
Yeah, but I don't remember. It was only sandwich money. That was back at $13.
Yeah, because it's 19.
All right. Thank you, everybody. I want to thank y'all for joining us. For Next Play Sundays again, can't wait to have you back every Sunday at 7:30 to 9, where we talk about everything about investments and how to actually get better. As we said, we're going to be doing some other things you heard tonight. We're going to be trying to do some mental things to help everybody become more successful, be around more positive things, invite somebody, share with another person. We definitely enjoyed everyone coming out and joining with us. We're in the after hours minute right now. So we do talk about some stuff online different than what you see on Facebook and YouTube. So if you want to, you can always get a link in the group, join the group chat on WhatsApp, because we talk about a lot of different things throughout the week where we text messaging each other. You heard about the oil stocks we was talking about last week. So all the time we're communicating as a group and actually being able to continually talk about finance and investment, asking questions, doing everything in our possible to be able to help each other learn and grow as a community. And that's pretty much how we handle it. We treat it as a community. We treat it as other's friends and mentors, and how we learn and do. And we're going to always continue to show and prove how we actually do, not just talk about it. So it's always going to be somebody in the group that's actually doing the process, not something about it just telling you the process so you can actually try to implement it yourself, but can't guide you through the process. We're a community of friends, and we definitely want to thank everybody for coming out. Again, join the Facebook group, catch us on YouTube replays. Also, you can join the WhatsApp group chat if you join the Facebook group. Other than that, I want everybody to have a great weekend. Be positive, positive mind, positive vibes, positive life, and enjoy yourself. And other than that, man, we out. See y'all next week. Have a great time, and we'll go from there. Y'all have a good night.